Hello, my good people. Eric here. And it's Christmas, so Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to you all. I was looking on my Netflix account, kind of like a year in review of what all I've watched, and I figured I'm going to make a list of all the shows that I've dropped. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. I've got a list of 9 shows here that I've dropped for one reason or another. And I'm just going to start at the beginning of 2021 and work my way all the way up until now. So we'll get into it. The first show I started watching and have not touched since is Cobra Kai, the third season. For whatever reason, I was super pumped after the end of the second season to watch the third season, wonder how that kid will recover and all the drama. I got into the third season, I think 2 episodes, and nope, I cannot watch any more of this. I don't know what made me change my mind. I don't know if it was something like I read somewhere that half of the conflict in this show could be settled if they just talked. There was so much if they just talked it through. But I don't know if I just wasn't in the mood for it or what, but I know there's a fourth season getting ready to come out probably January again, February, and I am struggling to find the motivation to pick it back up and watch it. I'm just not in the mood for Karate Kids anymore. Yeah, really no other reason than that. All right. The second show is Tribes of Europa. I got 2 episodes in. I was watching that back in February, end of February. And I don't know if I started thinking it was cheesy, if it was over dramatic, if something, gosh, that's been a while because I just straight up dropped it. If it was something stupid happened, but or if I happened to look at another reviewer and seen that it was like, yeah, don't watch this or something, but I don't know where it was going, but I just, for whatever reason, done, stopped it, and I've not looked back since, and probably won't. I imagine if I were to pick up the third episode, I'd probably immediately realize, yeah, I'm not. I would remember exactly why I stopped watching it. Usually, there's a reason, a decent reason why I stopped watching something. Number 3 is, oh gosh, this is a tough one. Resurrection Ertugrul. It is, I believe, a Turkish show. I got 1 episode in back in April. Something about the coming of a king, warring tribes, or something like that. And I think it might have been in the beginning a little boring, a lot of characters to keep up with. But I just remember having a really hard time. There's certain languages I do have a hard time with. I do have a hard time watching shows, and I think one of them is Norwegian, Scandinavian language. I have a hard time watching shows in that language, and then Turkish. I had a really hard time keeping up with this show, and I heard it was good, but it wasn't for me. I may go back and watch it later on down the road, but I stopped back in April, and I could not go on. So 4 is Katla, Katla. I think it's another Scandinavian, Norwegian show, Iceland, somewhere around ice. Is it Icelandic, maybe? Somewhere around in there. And I watched 1 episode. That was back in June. I watched 1 episode, and it kind of cool premise. They're on like a volcanic island or a volcanic. Someone there's a volcano there. It erupted, destroyed it's everything from miles away or something like that, and it's just very. Everyone has like completely moved away from this area except for a few researchers, scientists, weather people, and their main character is a woman who lost her sister in this eruption. Well, all of a sudden, in somewhere, I think in the beginning of this episode, or a girl appears. Towards the end of the first episode, you find out that this girl is our main protagonist's sister, who has been missing for a year, and she's been in this volcanic rock for however long, which is impossible, but she's somehow survived, and now she's coming back to town or something like a zombie. I'm not really sure. Once again, the language barrier. I just struggle with that language. And two or one, I guess mainly was it was so slow, such a slow burn, and at the time I wasn't in the mood for that, so I stopped and just didn't want to continue on. What am I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I watched this show back actually a couple days after I got done. I stopped watching Katla, and that was Sense 8. Sense 8 had a really cool premise. I watched like a couple episodes into season 2, actually. So I watched the entire first season and into the second, and I powered through it. I mean, I was watching it quick, and it's a very I think the Wachowski sisters, formerly known as the Wachowski brothers, but they made this show about different, like 8 people all interlinked through emotions, and like they can call forth each other to kind of embody themselves when they need that person's skill set or emotional emotion, like when they need to be out of the environment that they're in, they can call forth another person that's better at handling that. And it was good. I heard it had a banger of an ending. But I think I watched it too quick, and it just became a lot. I mean, it got like at a certain point they just started all having orgies. Like that was weird to like they just like all 8 of them, like one person would be having sex with another person, and not part of the 8, but just one person out of these 8 people that are linked up would have sex with just some random person, whatever their partner or whatever. And next thing you know, it's like literally all 8 of them in an orgy, and there was a lot of that sexual content, which it's whatever. I'm not against it, but I don't know. With this show, it's just weird. It was just weird. I don't know. I just stopped watching it. It just became too much, too quickly, and I just didn't want to continue on. Something happened, and it just became disinteresting, I guess. I think it was like they all started falling in love with each other or something. I don't know. Whatever. I stopped watching it, so. Oh, that was Sense8. Oh, I forgot one. The Serpent. It was a documentary on like a serial killer, and that was back in April. And yeah, I pretty much just stopped watching that one. I think the first episode was interesting, but he literally did nothing. I guess he was a serial killer who I can't remember how he killed, but he got away with it for so long. And the first episode, if I remember right, was just really boring. Like I think that he like drugged the women or something. He slipped them something in their drink, and then him and his partner, wife, whatever, would do stuff to him. And I don't know if I don't know if she helped kill them. I don't really know. I didn't watch it. I just remember the first episode really didn't keep my attention. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got 8, 9. Yeah, we got The Inside Job, which I watched back in the end of October, and that was an animated comedy about all the conspiracy theories that you hear out there are true, and there's a certain underground government that's kind of keeping them contained, and the government that's out there right now is being controlled by somebody, and that somebody is the main character of our show. And I don't know, I just didn't find it that funny. I thought it tried too hard. I mean, the premise was kind of interesting. All the aliens are real. Our government, our president is just a robot that they control. It had other interesting points, but I just didn't think it was that funny. I didn't think it was worth continuing. Oh, I think it was like you got the female scientist that really works her butt off and doesn't get recognized, and then you got a new hire that pretty much has no idea what's going on, but he's the face that they're looking for, and all he knows how to do is just bring donuts, and she's doing these huge projects, and but then he comes in late, but he's got donuts, and everyone loves him, and he did all the work, and it's just, I don't know, I just didn't think it was fun. I thought they tried too hard. Number 8, I watched back in November. I only watched an episode of it, which was Cowboy Bebop. From someone who loves the anime, I thought that show was utter trash, garbage. They absolutely ruined Faye Valentine. To me, Jet Mustafa, what he played, I thought he was probably the best. He best represented that character. I don't know if I'm ever gonna like John Cho as Spike. I don't know. That's a hard character to make. I didn't, and then but Faye Valentine, when they got to her, it was just cringe. It was so. I mean, the cringe was palpable. I felt secondhand embarrassment from. I just felt bad. I felt bad watching that part. I felt bad for the actors that they had to act that. I felt bad that this made it onto Netflix and and was passable by so many people. They just utterly ruined her character, and I had to stop, and I will never watch that episode again. Or I will never watch that show again. I will watch the anime, which is the GOAT. I mean, it is an unbelievable masterpiece in terms of music and story, action, and I don't know, the show, the ships, the scenery, everything I thought was well done for the most part. But they just deviated too much from the characters and still called it Cowboy Bebop, and they were just riding on the coattails of the anime's legend. But they changed too much. They should have just called it something else at that point, and it might have been interesting. But they wanted to kind of make the money, hopefully, with the name Cowboy Bebop, and yeah, it's in the ether. It has been canceled, so it's been swept under the rug and probably won't be talked about in the limelight again. So let's see. In the last one was I watched on the end of November. I watched 3 episodes, and that was Super Crooks. It's another anime TV cartoon, whatever, that is about just our main protagonist who, I guess, has a crappy upbringing and develops electricity powers, and finds out instead of doing good with them, he can become like a crook and make money quickly, get into ATMs, make money, and then you find out that he has a father who's in jail, has the same superpowers, and he's also a crook. And I think they get together and do criminal stuff, but I was so uninterested. It was just boring. I mean, it was utterly boring in my opinion. Him wanting to be recognized as a superhero and failing and killing. I think he killed a bunch of people in the pool, but yeah, if I want to watch a bad superhero, I'll watch Invincible on Amazon Prime. Um, that show is incredible. This was just, I don't know, boring to me. I didn't care about him. I didn't care about his crook father. They just do like petty crime, stealing cash. I didn't care enough to watch any more of this show, so I stopped that. Those are some 9 shows that, yeah, I probably won't be watching anytime soon. Yeah, so with that, I will see you guys on the next video.